Hello and welcome to Red Stain Radio, a Dead by Daylight podcast. I am one of your hosts, Bryson, and I'm joined by one of my lovely co-hosts, Stevie.
Hello. It's just
How you
me.
doing?
I'm
Just
good.
you. Just us.
It's been good. Been playing a lot of card games. Been playing a lot of hanging out with
Ooh.
friends.
What kind of card games?
We got this one in the house. It's brand new. We got it for $10 online. Shipped it to the house. My roommate bought The Crew,
Okay.
deep space exploration mission to Planet 9 or the ninth
Ooh.
planet. Anyway, it plays like a fun go around and like play a card at a time, and you're trying to cooperatively like win hands by making it's hard to explain really quickly, but it's really
Totally
fun
fair.
and you use your noodle a lot for it.
Yeah.
So we
Is
got
it
a lot of
cooperative?
exercise.
Or are you against other people?
Yeah. It's a cooperative game where you're all playing cards, but the rules are you can't say anything about what's in your hand. If people have played it, you know how fun it is, but like you're trying to keep your mouth shut, but also express to people little bits of info. You're trying to clue each other into like how to win this hand correctly. It's a fun co-op
Very cool.
game, but like spin on normally competitive type of card game.
Yeah. Amazing.
What have you
I
been
love
up
board
to?
games. Been playing a lot of Steam Next Fest demos, played quite a bit. If anyone is in the Discord, I put a kind of a small list there that I was playing. But one of them I was playing was called Windrose, previously known as Crosswinds. It's essentially a pirate survival crafting game. Really cool. Played it with a couple friends. Put about 6 hours in the demo, which was the full demo essentially. A lot of fun, a lot of potential. So if you're looking to scratch a pirate itch, maybe it's up your alley. The demo is still available, and it will be available all the way up until the early access release. So don't be worried, since Steam Next Fest is over tomorrow as the time of recording this. It'll still be available, so you can check that out whenever. And it's got some, if you like base building, it's got really good base building. Really, really good base building. A lot of flexibility.
You're a base builder. That's what you are. That's what you
yeah.
like.
I've been going hard in Dune, building that base, and which I've shared photos of in the Discord, and it's a good time. I like to build bases. It's cathartic. You put a podcast or music on, you build a base, and I just like it. I like it a lot.
Right, you can be an architect without needing to engineer the whole thing together.
Exactly. The only thing I need to do are collect the resources and experiment.
Much easier.
Yeah. Well, listeners, as you can tell, it's just me and Stevie. Maddie's out this week, busy with some midterms and exams. That said, we have a wonderful podcast for you this week, as always. This is episode 36 of Red Stain Radio, and we're talking about our hopes and dreams for the Dead by Daylight movie, despite how low they might be. We have no housekeeping. We have no news for you. We're just going to jump right into it. And I want to give a quick overview of the Dead by Daylight movie production timeline. And it's not much here. Some of it we went over last week, but in March of 2023, Behavior announced it was teaming up with Atomic Monster and Blumhouse to develop a Dead by Daylight feature film adaptation. Now, if you're unfamiliar, for those that don't know, Blumhouse is known for movies like Get Out, Megan, The Black Phone, the FNAF movies, the most recent Halloween movies, and many, many more. As I've mentioned in the past, their quality and execution really just hits the full spectrum of really good, great movies to really bad horror B movies that just aren't worth your time in a lot of ways. Atomic Monster is a subsidiary of Blumhouse and was founded by James Wan, very much known for producing all of the Conjuring universe movies, The Nun, Annabelle, The Conjuring, and I think there are more to come very soon. They also have done movies like Mortal Kombat, the most recent Mortal Kombat movie, and it's getting a sequel later this year, Malignant, and The Monkey, which came out last year, which was a Stephen King adaptation. That was announced in 2023. Then in February of 13th of this year, 2026, we got a word that Dead by Daylight is moving forward at Blumhouse, and they are currently writing the script. And the two who are penning that script are David Leslie Johnson McGoldrick and Alexandre Aja. And their stuff spans pretty much all of like the Conjuring movies. Alexandre Aja directed the Crawl movie, which came out a few years ago, which was actually pretty decent. And so, yeah, they seem to be competent and have a lot of experience underneath them. I'm excited to see what they come with. Now, when it comes to our hopes and dreams and kind of what we're looking for in a Dead by Daylight movie, Stevie, are you at all interested in a Dead by Daylight movie? Is this something you want?
I want it bad. I'm telling you, like
Okay.
I think this would be a genuine gem. Video game
Mhm.
movies are now way more doable, way
They are.
more feasible as like a marketing expense. And the fact that like Blumhouse is just gonna try anything right now, and
Yeah.
they've proven that they are gonna give tickets to the people who want to do something new and fresh, new and funky. If you've proven yourself like once before, they'll let you go for it. You don't have to like be a horror veteran. You don't have to be a Hollywood celebrity. They're gonna let you run with it. And I think it's coming. Like I don't think this is a thing that's gonna get canceled.
Yeah.
But like I mean, genuinely, the world doesn't need a DVD movie. Don't
No,
get
it
me
doesn't. Not
wrong.
at all. Blumhouse is a fine studio producer, whatever you want to call them. They have, like I mentioned, a lot of good stuff that I mentioned at the top of the show. They also have a lot of not great stuff. And so I'm really interested to see where this goes. I hope this isn't on like the FNAF side. I recently watched FNAF 2 with Maddie. You also were there. Not a great experience. I have not seen the first movie, so I was a little lost. But even then,
There's an
like,
issue I have with a lot of what I'll consider like kids movies right now, where
yeah.
they're kind of entirely shot as like montages.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
can mean mostly just like those video game movies, FNAF. I'm blanking. Oh my god, the FNAF movie, the Minecraft movie, is
Oh
shot
yeah.
like a montage, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
like sickening because it's paced so awkwardly and scenes are
Yeah.
so jarringly cut together. I've only
Almost
seen
like
clips and it's
TikToks.
unwatchable.
Yeah.
Almost like TikToks, like you're watching constant short form content back to back.
Mm-hmm.
And I fear that like that's going to be something we're going to have to deal with a lot in movies, but only in like the kids movies.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, I hope adult scary movies don't turn into that, and I hope DBD isn't kids game. I mean, it feels like to me a baby game because I've been playing it for like 1,700 hours, but
Yeah, well,
like
that's a question I
it's
want to ask
different.
you. Do you think this is a rated R movie? Do you think, because FNAF is PG-13, I presume?
Ideally, they just go full out, like they just rip the band-aid off, and this is
Yeah.
like blood spurting out of a hook. This is Dwight's face is covered in blood. This is
Mm-hmm.
the trapper actually gets the knife in someone's arm and has to pull it out, and then they run away, and that's them being injured. I want it to be a gore fest.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I don't think a PG-13 movie would adapt well for DVD. Like I think you need that rated R and ideally a hard R movie tag to really sell this and to really sell it as a good DVD property or an adaptation. Like DVD in itself is not graphically the prettiest game, but it is very, in a lot of ways, dark and uh tormented and twisted and just like I think a rated R movie is a must with how many like dark undertones there are with like the entity and endlessly being sacrificed and never ending torture and such. So hopelessness that is also there. So yeah, I think a rated R movie is a requirement.
It's a cruel environment, but like none of the characters are directly evil, so it's hard to picture like evil things happening on screen. But
Mm-hmm.
like I definitely think it could be a good character study, and like injecting character into video game characters.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds easy because like the word is there, but like to like actually give them a person behind that, when we always just see them running around screaming, sometimes never talking. There's no like
Yeah.
person truly there. That's the
Yeah,
challenge.
and especially for like original characters, right? Like that I'll just say the core four: Meg, Dwight, um, Claudette, and Jake. Like those four they have grunts of pain and vomiting and coughs and all that, but they don't have anything beyond that. So whereas like we have licensed characters that we have, all sorts of moody and books and game adaptations and manga, etc., where we know those characters really well and we cherish them, but we don't have that with the original survivors or the original killers because they don't have voices either.
I would be interested to see like all the survivors speaking their native tongue and like it being like a little plot point that none of them can really communicate except like a few of them translate for each other sometimes, or like they make up hand signals because you make up hand signals in the game. Ideally, this hits the notes of like the Dungeons and Dragons movie, where the entire time you're like, this is gonna be a fucking boring, cheesy, cringe movie. And then you start watching, and you're like, all right, these characters are kind of cool. I fall in love with them if they keep doing this cool stuff. And then they keep doing cool stuff, and then they do stuff that you've done playing Dungeons and Dragons. They put you in scenarios where it's like, oh, only someone who knows how to play D&D and played a lot of D&D would put that in because they know it just is what everyone has experienced. They know it's a ubiquitous thing. I want that from the DVD movie, and that's a little wishful. I don't think people play DVD like they play Dungeons and Dragons. I don't think it's as popular. I don't think directors might know ball like that.
Dungeons and Dragons movie though, that was good. That's hidden. I think that was better than a lot of people expected.
Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. Oh my goodness!
If you haven't listened to or watched it, check it out. It's good. It's really
Olga's so much fun. The little who's that actress who plays the druid Doric? She's great.
I don't remember her name, but yeah, the whole cast is just phenomenal. Like it's so good and it's funny. It's really funny.
Hold on, I need to look up some of these actors. But yeah, keep talking.
So I'll kind of dive into some of Maddie's thoughts. She left us some notes that I'd like to share.
She has good notes on this topic too. She's great.
Yeah. We kind of asked the question: are we confident Blumhouse can deliver? We're hopeful. I'm a little on the edge, and Maddie is confident. She mentions movies like Get Out, The Invisible Man, Black Phone, the Halloween reboot recently, Split, Oculus, Creep 1 and 2. Or they have a really good track record of some amazing movies. Some of these being the best horror movies, I would say, of all time, especially Get Out. Jordan Peele's Get Out. I highly recommend. If you haven't seen that, watch it. Please, please, please. But they also have like movies under their belt like Unfriended, Megan 2, the Purge series, which a little shade there to the Purge movies. Purge 1, 2, and 3 are pretty solid movies. Like they get better as you go, but then Purge 4 falls off. And then you have FNAF 2, which was a kind of a crazy movie altogether. So, Maddie seems confident, but like it's so hit or miss with Blumhouse. You really can't be sure. So I'm totally with her in that. I'm hopeful, but I'm not putting all my money in one place because I'm not that confident.
That's real.
Did you find the actors?
I mean, yeah. I was just looking up the people from the D&D movie because I'm like, oh yeah, no, I recognize their faces and so much other stuff.
Yeah,
and I am a huge fan. A little bit of like Simon in the D&D movie is also in I Saw the TV Glow. I love that movie.
Oh yeah.
Sophia Lillis is Doric, the druid in the D&D movie, and she's also in the Chair Company, the Tim Robinson show. Came out last year. That one, it was a funny time, and she's like the overly supportive daughter for her father, and she's a great lesbian daughter because she has like a terrible girlfriend wife who's so cringy, and it's so real. Like the most perfect amazing woman ever has the worst wife ever.
Oh man, that's great.
Chair Company's great.
Yeah, I need to check it out. I've heard really good things, but I've not watched it myself. So we talked about Blumhouse and kind of their direction. Well, let's get into maybe the direction of the story. And I want to start off with Maddie's thoughts because I really agree that is the best route. I was thinking about this today when I was walking my dog. Like, how do you adapt DVD? So do they adapt the trials? Is it an existing story in the lore? Is it an original killer and survivor that they kind of draw into the fog? Maddie says it best, I think, in that it'll be a new survivor that enters the trial that we follow their POV. And she has a question mark here, like maybe they have a gift to exit the trials, like maybe they're a special individual that can help survivors and or just even killers escape the fog. That's a new take that I did not have. But yeah, I very much agree in that we will Blumhouse will write a character that is not in the realm as of right now or in the trials, and we will follow them. And then after a certain deed that makes them worthy of a survivor, or maybe they're having visions that the entity is trying to corrupt them or trying to take them, a black fog will whisk them away and they'll appear next to that campfire and they'll run into Dwight and Meg or whoever. And they'll try to learn they'll try to learn the trials, and I'm sure we'll have a montage of them dying brutally from all these different killers and deaths and hooks and such. So and then eventually maybe they just get out, they kind of figure it out and get out. But that is how I think maybe that's the best way to adapt it. But what about you, Stevie? What do you think?
I like that because it kind of opens it up to being something fresh, but also contained. You don't have to worry about your bleeding all over the actual property. You're taking a character that needs to be characterized in the game a certain way, and now they look different on screen. I think this is a lot better as like a casting of Frank Stone route, where it's in the DBD universe. These are fresh characters, and they could or couldn't exist alongside the ones you know from the game, but they're here, same circumstances, just kind of fresh characters. And we can draw parallels to the other ones, but I would love to see at least one as the new character, like at least one character being fresh, made up, new survivor. If we got like a made up killer, that would be too interesting to leave on the table, and we would demand it get added to the game.
Absolutely.
But I think they should do like 4 characters. You know what I mean? Like a classic 4 survivors who are fresh to the fog, maybe different points in time. We make it a non-linear story, so we show like more than one character getting sucked into the fog.
Yeah.
Because I think that's one of the cool parts, is the way the fog connects to the real world. And then they don't have to really make the trials the entirety of the movie. It can be a lot of like how the entity corrupts a town and pulls like 2 or 3 people from a family plus 2 people from the past who used to live in this town, or something funny like that, where like everyone comes together from different points in time and they're all experiencing the entity who got them at different points in time. I like that much because it's a very party game where you're a group of people all playing at once. And if it really wants to hit the mark of feels like the game, you kind of look to that. It's a co-op, it's a PvP type game.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely expect new characters. I don't expect us to go in knowing all the characters and they're all from DBD already.
And the audience needs an insert too. Like you imagine somebody who's not familiar with DBD, who's like, well, should I play this game? Should I even know it's a game? Should I know anything about it before I go into it? Ideally, the answer should be you don't need to. If it's a good movie, you don't need to.
I would totally agree. I was about to go there, and like this new character we follow from the beginning will have plenty of exposition thrown at them, like, this is what you got to do when we go on the trials. We got to do these generators to avoid hooks, and if you get 3 hooks, you're dead. Like
by daylight.
And someone will say, or we're dead by day. Like it's, I don't know. We'll see if that happens. It happened to me Until Dawn movie, but that movie was a hot mess.
Oh no!
But yeah, it was. I do not recommend the Until Dawn movie. I've mentioned it before, but someone says we got to survive until dawn, or something like that.
For real?
Yeah, someone says that, and it's just yikes.
They don't even like do that literally in the D&D movie. They're not like, whoa, there's a dragon in this dungeon. They don't get that close. They set it up for you.
Yeah. Well, Dungeons and Dragons, I think that's a little. If that did happen, that would be, I think, hilarious. But like,
I'm sending you to fight in the Dungeons with Dragons.
Yeah, something along those lines. So, yeah, I'm really interested in what they do. I really hope it's not like a. I don't know. I hope it's not like a. Oh, I even had the idea of like maybe it being like an anthology movie. Like anthology movies are not super common, but maybe you're telling multiple stories in a single movie, whether that be like multiple different trials or different perspectives of a specific lore entry. I doubt that's a thing they do, but it just came across my mind.
It's really fun when it works out. Anthology movies are like either you get a director and a writer who are on the same page and want to tell like the same story split up amongst multiple stories, or that writer and director are the same person and can do it a little easier, or it ends up being like multiple writers and multiple directors across multiple projects that get put together as an anthology.
Mm-hmm.
Usually that second option is less cohesive, as if that makes sense. Like it's not
Yeah.
one story being told amongst three anthologies, but like three vignettes. Just using
Mm-hmm.
three as an example. But like if something like that were to come up, I would be into it, where it's like four characters who all have their time in the spotlight and then it all circles together with them at the end. Or
Oh
like
yeah.
one character brings them all together and makes them escape the fog
Mm-hmm.
permanently.
That'd be cool, and kind of push that lore a little further as well. Something that we haven't had quite yet in tomes or anything like that. So that'd be cool. CV, what characters do you want to appear in DBD? We've mentioned original character. That's probably going to be likely, maybe an original killer or a couple on both sides. Who do you want in terms of characters in DVD, whether they're licensed or original? Who do you want to appear in the movie?
I'm kind of torn. I want it to be all original characters,
Mm-hmm.
but I know that's too much. Like that's too boring as well, because it's like why even bother? Of course they might as well just make a new movie. But if it's a DVD movie, I think we're missing out if we don't get one of like the first 5 original killers. The Trapper, Wraith,
I mean,
Hillbilly,
Trapper's got to be in there,
Nurse.
right? Like
At least an
he's the poster child.
homage to the Trapper. Like at least have a character stuck in a bear trap at the beginning that they get run past. Or
Yeah.
if they don't want to cast somebody as the Trapper, that's totally fine. But I think we would all fall in love with whoever they put as the Trapper.
Yeah, it's not like they're talking or we're going to see their face, right? Like the Trapper is very much a homage to Jason Voorhees.
Right,
Like,
right. He's a mix of that stoic. He's a mix between Michael and Jason, if I may.
Yeah,
Like he's got the homemade mask, which is kind of like in between how Jason has the repurposed hockey mask, but Michael Myers not only has like a Halloween mask, but like they cut the hair and spray painted it, so it's kind of like a homemade mask. Anyway, yeah, Trapper he's too iconic, but I think he's a little too close to cliche to work on screen.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Do you think we get any cameos from licensed characters?
Yes, please. Oh my god, if Blumhouse has it, they have free reign to like use their own stuff maybe.
Yeah.
And when we think Blumhouse, I'm thinking Halloween. I'm thinking
Halloween.
Saw.
Yeah.
It's
they own Saw now.
They own Saw now. And James Wan is Atomic Monster. He gives the okay. You throw Amanda in that movie. You
kind of crazy,
like,
right?
The Jigsaw doll somewhere as like somebody had memories of it.
Yeah. They also have FNAF as well. It could easily appear. A Springtrap could easily appear because they teased Springtrap for the third movie, so that'd be cool.
I would kind of get sick of it though if the cameos were limited to like, oh, here's a Fazbear plush. Oh, here's a reverse bear trap, and it's like just little items that they've made. I would get
Cassie and Frank Stone did.
I would get tired of that.
Yeah. Because Cassie and Frank Stone, you could just like there's a thrift shop you go into and you can like find the Legion's mask and Wraith's weapon and all sorts of these like little nods, but they don't ever appear or have an impact on the story. So yeah, I definitely am in the same boat as in like they need to have impact. Like they need to be killing someone. They need to be doing something, not just like a quick flash of a weapon or an iconic item of theirs.
Yeah, pick an original killer with like some good juice in their lore, some good meat to their design, like a good like iconic DVD killer, like one that couldn't exist outside of Dead by Daylight's universe. Pick a killer and then throw 4 fresh characters at them as survivors. You can kill any of them because maybe they respawn in the next trial, or maybe you kill them multiple times on screen, and that would kind of hit the mark. You do multiple trials with somebody dying and coming back, you really hit it home how like hopeless and weird it is.
Yeah. I want to share a comment from Haley from the Discord. I had asked a few folks, I made an announcement in there asking people to insert their wishes and dreams and what they want from the DVD movie. And Haley responded, my dream characters for a trial would probably be Unknown to showcase the best original horror for DVD, Vittorio, the show more of the realm. Dwight, his perks seem fun to visualize, and he's an OG. Tori, cool lore, Black Veil Hand, and either of the OG girls because they're OGs, or one of the canon queer trans characters for obvious reasons. I'm totally with you there, Haley. It would also be funny to see them visualize my boy Jonah's math boons. I also really want to see what the characters do after and outside the trials. Is the fan and campsite real? Plus, you get hella cameos if you showed the campsite. Which I want to ask Stevie, that would actually absolutely be a big component of this movie, is the campfire where survivors and even killers come around and wait until they're drawn into trials. For me, that's really exciting because there's an aspect of that in casting of Frank Stone at the end, which really got me excited. Like, I was really like, oh wow, this is really cool. But we only get like a taste of it. But with like a movie, that would ideally be a central location in the movie and something we would return to. How do you think they will represent that? Or if they will do it well at all?
It's tricky. Oh my gosh, because canon-wise, I think the fog has the campfire as its own realm, not connected to anything, but it's kind of like a loading zone where everyone is there for a brief period of time before the next trial. So you're never like there too long. However, fans have taken it as like anything and everything that isn't a trial happening to a character in Dead by Daylight can happen somewhere around or near the campfire. Frequently, people do their fan stories where it's like at the campfire after a trial. And that makes sense. It's a way to frame things as outside of the trial, but still in the fog. But it's hard to imagine that they would be given the go-ahead to do something like that when the developers have clearly been like, the campfire is a brief moment where you can kind of become a new person for a second or stalk your next victims. But you're never actually interacting with anyone there. You're just kind of seeing a couple of faces for a moment, and then those are the familiar faces that you see in the trial later. I hope it's quick little bits where we use the campfire as kind of like a sign that we're having a character travel into the fog, and it's a little nod, like you've booted up the game and you're staring at the main menu and you get that killer frame where like maybe the camera pans in at like the killer's knee length and then zooms into the survivor, like you've picked a survivor to queue up. And like I want the camera to do fun tricks like how the main menu does tricks, to just nod to people who play the game, but otherwise it just looks cool if you've never played the game. Something subtle, but like a good way to use the campfire as a way to represent moving between our world and the fog. It's pretty noticeable.
Yeah, I think this would be really cool to see on screen, and I hope it's something maybe. I kind of hope that fan theory, canon, whatever you want to call it, is kind of brought into the movie, because I really like the idea of survivors kind of gathering at this place after a trial, and kind of because like we've mentioned lore wise in our lore episode, the very first one, like how do survivors learn different perks, like and killers too, like how are we unlocking these perks for other characters? Like, some people have thought, oh, they're around this campfire, that's when they're showing them between trials. It's like, okay, Ash is showing Claudette how to use buckle up or something, like whatever it is. And so I really like that. And I feel like, because, there's the whole survivors lose their memory, which they could also bring in, like survivors lose their memory after each trial. It's like wiped. That's something they could draw in. I really, really dislike that concept, because at that point I think it becomes almost like a time loop movie, and for me time loop movies are a slog to get through, like Groundhog's Day or Happy Death Day, or like the I really dislike time loop movies,
Okay,
and
yeah.
I just wouldn't want that to be. I feel like that would be the case here. So I would just love to see them kind of pave their own path in terms of lore. I don't think this needs to necessarily be in the canon or fit in the canon, but really kind of make sense of the DVD lore, because the DVD lore isn't perfect by any means, and they could definitely benefit from cleaning it up on their own.
I agree. And like whatever you do as a movie is like concrete lore wise. It's all
Mhm.
laid bare. It can be messy, but like you've hammered it into stone. Whatever the implications are for your world need to be consistent. So they will kind of have to chop some stuff out and not
Yeah,
nod to certain things or compress certain bits of info into two different or one certain thing.
yeah. I
I
do want
I
to
am
share. Oh, go
I
ahead.
am in the other boat where I want to see that memory wipe. I want to see a little bit of it, like,
Oh man,
but in a weird way where you're right. It's going to be a time skip movie. It's going to be a time altering movie because time doesn't work in the fog correctly. But I
yeah.
think we could still have like memory wipe without the time loop, if that makes sense. Like Memento, like
Hmm.
kind of where you're kind of stuck in this same 5 minutes over and over again, where every 5 minutes you get a fresh mindset. And sure, you can like realize you're forgetting things because you're like, what did I just do? I'm getting older than I remember. And you're like, maybe Vittorio is tattooing things on his body in a language that only he knows, in a way that he can understand his mission and his purpose every time
Hmm.
he remembers to like look at it.
Yeah,
Maybe it's subtle things like that. Or
that'd
I
be
think
cool.
about the like the horror aspect of I saw the TV glow. This movie is in my brain I'm like, it's scary for trans people and scary for cis people in two different moments at two different reasons. And the real horror of it for me is at least like the main character's life is speeding up so fast and they need to kind of like save it, but
Hmm.
they're stuck speeding through this life at like a rapid pace that's getting them killed. Um, but the trials could be something similar where you're stuck, and every time a trial happens it feels like you just lost like a day of your life, rather than you don't even remember it, you just feel like you don't have it anymore. The entity's
Hmm.
draining you emotionally and like physically, mentally.
Yeah,
This is a way
well
they could
said.
do it, you know,
Yeah,
loops in the time.
yeah. I want to share Maddie's thoughts. She
Please,
thinks
please.
OG for Survivors easy. That being Meg, Dwight, Jake, and
Tony.
Claudette.
Yep.
Yep. There's so many characters in DVD. Trapper is a must. Hillbilly and Wraith 2. Elodie, Felix, Tori, Hattie, Vittorio should appear. My guess is maybe just because they're really cemented in the lore, is my guess, with them all kind of being intertwined with not only each other, but also the entity and kind of various cults surrounding them. So, yeah, that'd be really cool. Do you think we see Sable?
I ooh I don't know, because like they would have to get one girl to do Sable, and I don't think there could be one exact woman. I mean, there's like a
Do you
bunch,
think
but
that
like
individual would want that kind of heat on them?
nope, no. If they knew
Uh,
what Sable was, I think they'd
yeah,
either desperately want to be her or could never want to
yeah,
play that role. I
yeah.
think any
I,
any of the characters that are like entrenched in the lore as like someone with a relation to the entity and a reason to be in the fog is maybe a little out of the question, just because they're already so like nailed down as lore wise. You'd have to do like their origin story, and
mhm.
unless they're really hooked on a specific character, and I don't think they're like they want to sell the Tori Kane movie. I don't want to sell the. I
Yeah,
don't think they want to do the Vittorio Toscano movie. These are great characters who I love, but like
agreed.
a movie about like them for a third of it, I already
Yeah,
have the
does it
game with
sell?
the lore.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Watch, it'll just be Huntress and Sable.
Huntress and Sable. Yeah, okay.
That's it. That's the movie.
Hurt. This would hurt.
They go out on a date, wine. They go to a winery.
They already have like the most cemented and like feasibly recordable basic horror movie stuff. Like they just film a few shots of Sable walking into a movie theater with fog machines.
Mm-hmm.
They just record like the Huntress in a snowy forest with the guys in World War I outfits, and that's both of their backstories done, recorded.
There you go. That's it. That's the movie, y'all.
I want the
we can go
unknown
home
with practical effects. I want like a big rubbery suit. I want something that looks fake, but they had fun making.
Mm-hmm.
I want the chunkiness of DVD because it feels like I'm playing a really old game because it's 10 years old, but I want the movie to feel like an old slasher movie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, in terms of characters, I think that the 4OG is a given, and then you're going to have that new original survivor for the movie. Trapper, I think, is like you open the movie with Trapper, an existing trial, and maybe it's like a dream sequence almost, and our OG survivor wakes up, and I think there's so many killers, like I think we'll also see some original movie killers as well, in like not as a focal point but as in a montage. It's like, oh, who is that? Like,
yes,
they were doing something weird. So
let's bring back like Michael Myers, get Nick Castle under the mask again, get him to play Michael Myers for the DVD movie, get Shawnee Smith to play Amanda Young again, and kind of just have them in a quick moment where they're running around like Mother's Dwelling. Or we get some like of the classic DVD killers. I think Blight, and I think like Deathslinger. And I'm like, get a big name star, slap a ton of makeup on them, make them unrecognizable, and let them have fun. Steve Buscemi as Deathslinger is one note I wrote. Ron Perlman as the Dwight. Or as the Blight, not the Dwight.
The Blight, the Dwight.
Ron Perlman Dwight would actually be better. Scratch that.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Tom Hardy as David King.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Telling you, get big stars for this movie.
We'll actually get to stars very shortly, but I wanted to ask, how do we represent the entity in this movie? So do we keep it off screen? Do we prevent any kind of manifestation? Is it just black fog? How do you see it being represented in this movie, if at all?
Exactly. We see it like as the trial itself as the entity. We could say that that's it on screen. But when we think about the entity, we think about like the tentacles that spawn when you get struggle phase on Hook or when you get sacrificed. That's how much of the entity we see at like one moment, or what we would call like the manifestation of the entity.
Right.
And I think that's a good baseline. We say like, if 4 survivors get sacrificed, you see the entity like dip its fingers in 4 times. So until we have somebody dying like on screen, I think we save the entity. I think death isn't like the end for you in Dead by Daylight, because when you die, the entity just plucks you out of that scenario where you died to put you in another one. So ideally, like, we see the entity for a split moment as it reawakens a survivor or puts a killer like back into a new trial after it, like, Kane comes from off screen and yoinks them out as off stage.
Yeah. Maddie says omnipresent should be present in some way constantly, but don't give it a body or a face, which I'm totally in agreement with.
I like this.
Definitely.
Always having like smoky black fog in the shot.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And obviously, if we're following that survivor that we've been talking about, that is kind of the in for non-DVD players. They're going to be swarmed in black fog. Maybe there's a claw or two in the shadows that we see, because we see that in various trailers where characters are swirling in fog. Like you see it with like Alan Wake and all sorts of characters trailers. That's just the one I remember being very clear. Like there's very much a black fog and entity in presence in that trailer. And so, yeah, I definitely see it appearing then. And of course, interesting to see how they adapted in the trials. we do have hook states. That second hook state, the claws are going to come down and form. It'd be interesting to see if that's how they continue to represent that. And I'm really interested. This kind of opens up another question: is how they represent game mechanics in general in the game. How do you represent perks? How do you represent doing generators? Like, of course, you're going to be sitting there kind of repairing it, but I'm just really interested to see how they pull it off to where it's interesting, right? Like, you can't just be sitting there watching for 3 minutes watching a character do a
Scratching
generator.
wires together or like
Yeah,
twisting
like what are we gonna
knobs for a
do?
minute and a half.
Like, how do they do skill checks, or how do they do how do they do decisive strike or head on? Like, how do you adapt those to the screen?
I think a few of them that are like flashy enough and like visual enough that they're readable in game, but they're also kind of cinematic moments. I think we could adapt certain game mechanics like the basement as like a scene, as a set. We could adapt perks like exhaustion perks, namely like head on and like balance landing and sprint burst. You could kind of say that those are going to be happening on screen, but I think it's up to the directors to kind of say like survivors are kind of resourceful. They won't always be scared. They're always going to be using their advantage and the resources around them. But it's hard to imagine like what aura reading would look like on screen.
Yeah.
If we're thinking generators too, I just make it so that they're like fill half of it up with generator fuel, and then they have to get a couple gears from something, or they just get a toolbox and open it up, and then it cuts to the generator done or something.
Yeah.
So, we could wave it away because these are just like the game mechanics that we also find boring but necessary to like playing the game. I think you just kind of hand wave through those.
Yeah, you think we'll see the main character loop the hell out of a wraith in at the climax of the movie?
Okay. If they have like an extended chase sequence and it doesn't involve like, oh, the Meg runs to the pallet and the wraith respects it, but she greeted it, and then she's looking through the slits in the wall and he's trying to moonwalk it and she's still going, and then she gets out of chase and she can vault the window 3 times and it's not blocked, and then she's shift teching, and then she window techs the wraith and jumps back inside.
And the last gen pops and she gets adrenaline and
then
she's
she
off
CJ
to the races.
And the Meg is the hero.
Yeah, I mean, this also brings up a thought for me is like, when does this movie, because DBD for new players is very much a horror game, but when does this movie move from horror game to, okay, it's corny, to, okay, maybe it's like an action movie where it is those chase sequences, maybe those more high octane and moments? Because for me, there is a point in this movie, and it's going to be a hard line to walk in terms of how do you keep that creepiness and that eeriness without being, really corny with like all the goofiness that is in DBD, like the CJ techs and the moonwalking, like
and head on and dead hard, and
yeah, like all these kind of like fight back mechanics, I guess, and then also like the corny zaniness of it when it comes to gameplay. So I'm really interested to see how they balance that, and if they can manage that balance, or if they really just lean into the horror aspect of it and avoid those kinds of distractions.
Right, you play it enough of like, oh, we're gonna do this like spooky and scary until like the tension gets popped like a bubble, and then maybe like a whole crescendo of like blood and gore happens, but like we're only halfway through the movie, and then we do like a couple minutes of like resetting and setting up, and then it kicks off for just a big long tense ending where everything is going off and all the rules of the setting are kind of well established at this point that you can play those bits really well. You can kind of be like, one character shows up and they were hinted at before, or a game mechanic that was proven before comes into play as like a plot point, so then people who are like, oh, that one thing that was a one-off is actually part of the world. So you like loop back some of those ideas from when you made it corny to kind of say, no, they're not that corny. It's It's really cool to be Dead by Daylight with your friends. It's really cool to survive with friends or something like that at the end.
I hope not, but we might get that. Yeah, we might get that. Okay, well, let's jump to directors. Currently, there is no director assigned to this movie. We just have the writers who they're working on. Hopefully, we'll get director assignment soon. I want to jump into Maddie's director choices because I think they're really good. So her first one is Zach Cregger. For those who don't know, Zach Cregger did Weapons and Barbarian. He used to do comedy, very much a comedian back in the day, but he has moved to horror since then. He's doing a Resident Evil movie right now that's supposed to release later this year. I think this is a phenomenal choice for this movie. Like, I feel like he could bring something very unique. He is doing a video game adaptation now that is something new in the franchise. We've yet to see how that will play out. But with 2 movies under his belt already, Weapons and Barbarian, both being immaculate movies, like, this is a good pull.
Maddie was so right to say Zach Cregger.
Yeah.
Barbarian to me feels like how I would do a DVD movie, is like make it those scenes where it's like you put all your characters together in a freaky moment and then you break all the tension and then you make it a little funny for a little bit and a little goofy and lighthearted. And then you come back together for the zany ending.
Oh my God. Yeah. Then who's that actor's name? I'm blanking. I should know it. He's in Barbarian. He's also in
the guy
Jeepers Creepers.
The guy in the beginning. Oh, in Jeepers Creepers. Justin Long. Yep.
Yeah, Justin Long. Now that I'm thinking about it, Justin Long in DVD would be cool. But yeah, like, Justin Long's character is very much a comedic relief in Barbarian, and the moments he has in that movie, he very much, like, in, like, really dark, scary moments, he has these, like, goofy, funny kind of moments that kind of bring a joyfulness in a way, even though the character is, like, not
he's selfish,
likable.
so you can make fun of him, but he's also, like, putting himself out there, so it's fun to, like, watch him be brave. It's good.
Yeah.
He could definitely be Dwight. I'm just saying.
He could.
Justin Long as Dwight.
Yeah, he could. Yeah, definitely be Dwight. That would be hilarious. Which we'll get to more castings in a moment. Maddie also says Mike Flanagan. This is a personal favorite of mine. Amazing director. Did Dr. Sleep, and he had a short in VHS Beyond. He's also done Haunting of Bly Manor and Haunting of Hill House. He's also done Midnight Mass, which is my favorite project of his. He's currently directing a remake of The Exorcist, and he's done a lot of Stephen King adaptations as well.
He's currently working on for the Dead by Daylight movie. What do you think?
I think just a really good adaptation. Like I mentioned, he's done Stephen King, a few Stephen King things. Like, he's working on a Carrie show now. He's done Dr. Sleep. He's also working on a Dark Tower series, I think, for Amazon. But he just adapts really well, I think, in that it's different from the source material, but in a way that makes sense for the audience and for the screen. However, while I think he's a great director, I think maybe DVD is a bit below his repertoire, if that makes sense. Like, I think Mike Flanagan is too good of a pull for the DVD movie, if that makes sense. Like, I also think he's just too busy. Like, he's very much got a lot of projects in the pipeline. I just don't think him. If he did direct it, I'm seated. Like, I am 100% seated, and I think it would be good. I would definitely be way more invested in this, but I don't see this happen.
I totally get that. Like, you just see him as way too highbrow. He's a little bit of a pull.
Yeah,
but, like, dream big when it comes to something like this.
True, very true.
That's all we can do.
You never know,
for the time being.
Yeah. Before I jump to mine, do you have any directors that you maybe have in mind for this particular role?
I have kind of like wacky ideas that would never possibly happen because I think it would be too fun. It would be too awesome.
You never know.
If James Wan isn't doing anything and he's already like a little bit adjacent to the project, just get him on it. I think he could do like the gore and the shock value of it really well. That's his key right now. And like the stuff he's done proves that he wants to really do like his own stories. So I don't think he would be interested in adapting a video game. I think he is way more keen on like doing his own characters, his own settings and worlds. I would hazard a guess and say my like biggest star director would be Denis Villeneuve. If we got like a Kino Dead by Daylight movie, if we got something edited and shot perfectly, it would be by him. Denis Villeneuve did the Blade Runner sequel 2049. He did Arrival, which I really love.
Oh my god, Arrival's phenomenal.
When I think Arrival, it's like so much going on, and it's adapted from a book, and it's a big undertaking to kind of like put your head into the movie and grasp it. So I think Dead by Daylight is a little too like simple for something that he wants to be tackling. Like the things his movie says in Blade Runner 2049 is not really something that could be done with the Dead by Daylight source material. No shade. I don't think there's enough thematic elements in Dead by Daylight to make Denis Villeneuve interested. However, that would be a dream of mine.
He's also doing all the Dune movies.
He's done Dune Part 1 and 2, yep, and the Dune Messiah is coming out.
Yeah, he's some doing 3 point. Now. Yeah.
Oh my god, I am so excited for the
supposedly
Denis Villeneuve
supposedly
Dunes.
that's his last one, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, like don't make the guy do every single Dune book. But imagine that, right? Like you get Timothée Chalamet as Dead by Daylight guy. You get all these huge actors working with Denis Villeneuve. And
yeah, that would be amazing.
That would be way too far out. I think if my third one was another way in the opposite direction, if we take like super goated indie horror right now, Jane Schoenbrunn, she's I saw the TV Glow and everyone's going to the World Fair, and her stuff is freaky, it's queer, and it is so beautiful that I think it could be something freaky about Dead by Daylight, and a lot of queer people play it. So I think there's a fun intersection there where you tell specifically gay stories about being chased by killers, or you know, finding love in the fog, or just trying to live day by day when day by day you can't tell what happened last night because you got killed, and it's constantly happening, and it's a freaky nightmare that you're never actually going to get out of. I think she would be good at that.
That's an interesting component too that we've not quite, we've touched on here and there, but like the queer aspect of it, like how if at all is that represented in this game?
How gay is Dead by Daylight really?
Do we have David? Do we have Orella? Do we have these? Unfortunately, we don't have that many LGBTQ confirmed characters in DBD, but the community is very much LGBTQ, and I'm interested to see if they represent that at all, or if that's just a small component to it, and we have one small gay character role. That'd be David, a David cameo or whatever. I know it would be disappointing, but I think we do need some kind of representation in there.
Like they line it up where like somebody's on death hook and David King's the only one who hasn't been hooked yet, and he has to go save them while Dwight sticks on the last generator, and he gets up to go, and then he stops and he picks up Dwight's chin and he gives him a passionate kiss right before he runs off to go save someone, and Dwight is stunned for a second and then is filled with conviction, and it writes itself though.
Yeah, it does. And he says, "I'll see you in the locker later," or something like that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'll see you at the locker, back at the locker at the campfire or something. I don't know. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they adapt it, if at all. Maybe we'll see like an LGBTQ charm on a hook or something.
That would go crazy. The amount of times I see it in game is like, please, this needs to be represented.
Yeah.
The amount of killers are openly gay is perfect. Never stop. Please don't stop.
For myself, I have a few. I'm not really confident in these. I really think Maddie hit the nail on the head with Zach Krager. I would, I
She
would
had
love
very
that.
feasible answers, very nice
Yeah,
ones. What were you
very,
thinking?
very well. So my first choice is a director that I don't necessarily love, but I think would be a good fit, and that's Eli Roth. He's done Cabin Fever, Thanksgiving, Hostel. I don't think any of these movies, other than maybe Cabin Fever, are amazing. Like I think they're all okay movies. Thanksgiving I've seen, and I thought it was it's very goofy and very much a Halloween kind of shtick.
But it's called
But Hostel,
Thanksgiving. That's a month
yeah.
off.
And then Hostel is very dark, but it gets a little bizarre, and it takes a while to like get going. But I think Cabin Fever is just a really good adaptation. Or it's not even adaptation; it's like a good movie of it being dark and grim, but also it has some hilarious moments that aren't even I don't think supposed to be blatantly hilarious, like dark hilarious. And so I think he brings like a zaniness to some of his movies that I think DVD could that would lend well to a DVD adaptation. Like we mentioned, how do you adapt some of those game mechanics to the screen? I think he could maybe do a good job of that. Another one I was thinking, Nia DaCosta, she did the 28 Years of the Bone Temple most recently that released at the beginning of this year. She's also done the Marvels and the Candyman movie from 2021. I've only seen the Candyman movie of hers. However, I think she's just a good choice in that she doesn't have too many movies under her belt. She has a good like her biggest movie is probably the Marvels, which is a Marvel movie. So she's got experience working with like a cast of characters from like different worlds, if you per se, because that's kind of like three main characters kind of combined from a show, a movie, and various like connected universes, if that makes sense. So she has experience in there. And the Candyman remake was kind of very eerie and had a lot of like slasher vibes, which I expect slasher vibes in the DVD movie because it is a slasher game. It is the slasher game, so I think she could bring a really interesting kind of I would say under experience, but like experience role, but also kind of fresh idea to the movie. And then
Yeah.
finally, I have kind of like a big hitter, and that's Sam Raimi. A lot of people know Sam Raimi for the Evil Dead movies, you know, way back when, the Spider-Man movies that came out in the early 2000s.
I
And then also
loved the
like,
Spider-Man movies as a kid, and
oh,
I
so
loved
good.
Evil Dead 2 when I saw it.
Also Drag Me to Hell. Sam Raimi movies are like, they're scary, but also they are funny at times, which I think lend well to DVD as well. Again, really kind of thinking of tones and themes and matching them with directors. So while I'm not in love with all my choices, I think Sam Raimi might be the best of the three that I've kind of picked from. And but man, I can't get over that Zach Krager pull. Like Maddie really did a good job there.
Yeah, if we all had to put our heads together, I'm agreeing with her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's my vote for sure. Now that we have directors covered, let's talk about who we should cast for the movie. Who should be in this movie? And I, for one, think Jack Black should be in it. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Really? I think he should be the clown, and he should be like, I'm Jack Black, dude. I'm the clown.
And then he starts singing. The reason I jokingly say Jack Black is because he's like in a bunch of video game adaptations. Him and Jason Momoa as well. But I wanted to read some comments from listeners in the Discord that brought it up. Rabbit Clock said Nick Cage needs to be in there. Other than that, I kind of hope they cast mostly unknowns, people who don't have a whole list of credits to their names, to give new actors a chance. I love that take. Mostly unknowns, I'm all for. Totally with you there, Rabbit. Yeah, I give more people the chance to become stars, and a lot of people have gotten their fame started, their careers started in horror movies. So we've seen that with Halloween. We've seen that with various other movies I can't think of off the top of my head. So I'm with you there.
But there's so many people up and coming that have good movies under their belt, and you don't need to start with a banger. You can start with the DVD movie.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, we could have anyone.
it also helps with your budget. Like your budget doesn't have to be super huge. Like you can start with kind of lower paid actors because they're up and coming or they're new or whatever. So put that money elsewhere, like your VFX or your practical effects. Snow Jiggle says, joking once, Nick Cage playing as himself, and Matthew Lillard as in a nod to various horror movies and chapters they've been in. Jokingly, I think I don't think this is a bad joke. Like I think Nick Cage and Matthew Lillard could absolutely appear because, well, you know, Nick Cage is in the game. Nick Cage has been in a lot of horror movies. Matthew Lillard as well with Scream and FNAF now and Scooby Doo or whatnot. So I think these two are good pools. Who do they play as? Well, Nick Cage himself, of course. But who does Matthew Lillard play? Himself?
That's tough because like he can be nobody. He can be like he doesn't have to be William Afton. He doesn't have to be the Scream Mask Killer.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough.
Mm-hmm.
He could be just in the background. They could just have him for one line. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you think Nick Cage appears?
His kid loves DBD. I think he would do a DBD movie
true.
because his kid loves DBD. Same reason he did the DBD chapter.
Mm-hmm.
And Nick Cage has to play Nick Cage.
Oh, of course.
He's not himself, but he's playing Nick Cage. You understand? He's playing Nick Cage in universe.
Yes. Who's an altered dimension of our Nick Cage.
Which makes sense. Like if you've seen what's the movie? What's him and Pedro Pascal? Am I thinking of the right one?
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, I've seen this movie. You'll probably have to Google it.
Oh, the
unbearable weight of massive talent.
I was like the unbearable weight of massive talent. He plays Nick Cage.
He plays himself. Yeah.
He doesn't play himself. He plays Nick Cage.
Well, yeah, he plays
Nick Cage, who is like the same as our Nick Cage, but he's in this universe. Mm-hmm. He's Nick Cage. That's how I choose to read it.
That's a really good movie, by the way, with Pedro Pascal, like you mentioned. Listeners, if you've not watched The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, hilarious movie. Go watch it. A good buddy, kind of friend movie, if you will.
It's a good buddy friend movie, not scary. Mm-hmm. It's really just cheesy good times.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, and Maddie also says Nicolas Cage and or Matthew Lillard cameo. I'll actually run through Maddie's kind of, she has a few castings here, like fan castings, and then we'll kind of jump on afterwards. Anya Taylor-Joy as Nia. That's a really cool pool. I love Anya Taylor-Joy. She's great in The Menu. Great in The Witch, which is kind of where she kind of started. And as Nia, that'd be really good.
I could see it. Anya Taylor-Joy is like one of my favorite queens, and I don't know about her being Nia, but I think she could be at least one of the original girls.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think she'd be cool as Plague as well.
Oh,
she's
my
tall,
God.
And she's like, kind of lanky a little bit, but
you might be entirely right about that.
Yeah,
or she could be Sable now that I'm like looking her up.
Oh no. Oh, good acting actor choice there. We also have Lupita Nyong'o as Claudette. I think this one's really good. Her being in Black Panther and A Quiet Place Day One, The Walking Dead as well. Not The Walking Dead. No, that's someone else. Great choice. I love Lupita. She is amazing in everything she does, and she just does an amazing performance.
And Maddie's got the picks.
That'd be cool.
I like that.
Yeah, really did her homework for sure. That's all the one that castings she had. What are some castings you have, if any?
I kind of had a couple. Like, I mean, I want Shawnee Smith to come back as Amanda Young. Like, if they do Amanda, I want it to be Amanda.
I mean, she's mentioned they could use her likeness in the game, but
they haven't, right? Like. I'm not that mad about it. But
you should be.
if I had my way, I'd do something super goofy, like Steve Buscemi as Deathslinger. I mentioned that earlier. I think that would be funny and just silly. I want Alan Wake's visual actor from Alan Wake 2. I want Ikavilla. I don't know how to
Yeah,
pronounce his
I
name.
think you did it
I think
right.
I got it
Yeah.
right. He
Hmm.
does so well as Alan Wake in the game, like in the, live action animated segments, and
Hmm.
they use him so well as the likeness that he just looks like the guy. And I think it would be a perfect nod to like Remedy Studios if they put Alan Wake in the movie as kind of like he's traveling around on his little adventures.
Yeah.
Alan
Yeah, they
Wake would
love
make
live
so
action
much
stuff
sense
too.
in the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
I wrote down Tilda Swinton as the Grimoire killer because I'm remembering from
Ooh.
Constantine where Tilda Swinton plays the angel Gabriel, and I
Hmm.
think Tilda Swinton could be an angel again, but super grotesque and big and
Yeah.
scary and
Oh, that'd be cool.
murderous. I want like super big stars to play killers. I want them covered in makeup and like unrecognizable, but like it's their body. It's them acting and emoting with practical makeup and effects. I don't want like a CGI killer running around. I don't want like
Hmm.
a guy in a morph suit animated. I want, you know, practical stuff. I want rubber suits and blood
Hmm.
spraying everywhere. That's what I
Yeah,
like.
I expect some practical, or I expect some VFX. Like if you do Dredge, I think some of that really has to be. Or I even think like the unknown too. Some of that might have to be with like the way he moves. But yeah, I'm totally with you. Like practical effects for the majority of it, and the rest you can CGI where possible or where necessary.
But like real people actors to like really sell this as
Hmm.
like human thing. It's a video game, but like we want to tell the people stories of it.
Hmm. Totally agree. For me, I just did a quick casting of the first four original survivors.
Smart,
Killers,
smart.
like you mentioned, they could be anyone under that mask as long as they're doing a really good performance. Kind of physically, I'm more than comfortable with anyone under that. So for me, for Dwight, I think Nicholas Holt would be a cool choice. However, I think Justin Long is maybe a better choice. So take what you will. Nicholas Holt in X Men, Nosferatu, the most recent Superman movie. Next up, Chloe Grace Moretz as Meg. She's in Carrying and the Kick Ass movies. I think she'd be kind of cool as like the athletic kind of baddie in a way. And also kind of
100%. That's a
oh,
pick. That's a good
but
pick.
also maybe a little aloof, like the Meg reputation is. So that'd be kind of I think she played that well. Next would be Halle Bailey as Claudette. She was in the Little Mermaid movie, which I've seen. Kind of against my will. It was my partner who wanted to go see it, but I thought she brought a really kind of soft touch to the character that I think would fit really well with Claudette being a botanist. And then the way I see that character, just kind of, I don't know her lore that well, but I just feel like she brought really a cool kind of soft, caring touch that I think Claudette would lend itself well to Claudette.
Oh, that's good.
And
That's
then
a good way to do it. Claudette's a very gentle
yeah,
person.
yeah, that's what I thought. And I thought
Yeah.
she played that role really well that way in Little Mermaid. So Um, and then finally, Stephen Ewan as Jake. Uh, I think he would play. I think Stephen Ewan is just an amazing actor overall. But I think he would do an exceptional job in the role of Jake. I don't know Jake's lore that much, so isn't he like a rich kid who like wants to get away from his family?
Yeah, Sue does a lot of like backpacking and hikes.
Yeah, so I think that'd be kind of cool. Steven Yeun is in from The Walking Dead and Invincible. He was also in Beef, the first season of Beef. So, yeah, that's kind of my fan casting, if you will. It might be shit, it might be bad. They're
Just
all kind
something
of
light.
yeah. Some of them big. There's some of them are big. Some of them are not so much. But yeah, I'm more for the unknowns than I am for like the big name actors. But I think there will be at least one big name actor in this movie when they announce the cast. So we'll see.
Please behavior. Get some stars. Like it you'll get so many more people in if like that's the issue is right like you pick a cameo and you actually do fill more seats but it's also
Mhm.
funner in the long run because you filled more seats
Yeah.
and you had somebody big in your movie.
Hmm. Yeah, and speaking of cameos, actually, I just thought of it. Do you think there's a Blumhouse character or IP that we think will appear in this movie that maybe is not in DVD? For example,
Oh,
Megan.
like a license teaser.
Yeah,
I, I,
I've seen people mention, oh, I would love a Megan chapter. What do you do with a Megan chapter? I don't know, but like, it'd be kind of
that's so
interesting to
so
see.
many hands involved at that point. They'd have to
Yeah.
like keep it contained to like outside of the game universe, keep it
Hmm.
like separated until the licensing gets worked out. Or maybe they do the licensing behind the scenes and the killer chapter comes out with the movie and it's totally like a 3-for-1 type deal.
Hmm.
Who knows?
Yeah, be interesting to see. Yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes. That is about all we have. However, I want to do a quick exercise with you, Stevie. I'm gonna. Have you ever? So this is like I'm calling it over or under. So I'm gonna throw out a number, and you're gonna have to tell me whether the Dead by Daylight movie goes over or under this amount of things. So, for example,
Oh, you're gonna throw out
over.
a thing, and then I guess the number of
No.
or
So
over.
here's an example. Yeah. So over or under 3 generators popping on screen.
Oh
Do you
yeah,
think we get more than that or less than
more,
that in the
more.
movie?
You're dead by
Okay.
daylight if you don't pop 5 generators.
Okay. Okay. True. Very true. Okay. So let me go to my other
more
list.
than 3 generators.
Okay. Over under 2 licensed killers make a cameo.
Oh, I think it. I'm gonna say under. I think it is 2, but I think it'll be under.
Okay, so you think at least 2, but maybe 1.
Like
Okay.
at most 2.
Over under 8 game original survivors or killers appear.
8.
So a combination.
Under 8.
You think under 8? Okay. Over under 2 movie original survivors or killers appear.
Ooh, under. I'm thinking
Okay.
they're gonna be really stingy with those cameos, so I'm gonna go under for that one too.
Okay. Over under 5 survivors are hooked on screen.
It can, like 5 hook actions are completed, or 5 different survivors get the hook at least once.
5, yeah, 5. Well, any survivor. It could be the same survivor, I guess, but
Okay.
maybe like in a montage.
Yeah, I'll say over 5 hooks. That's the one I'm
Okay.
gonna say over 5.
Over or under 5 survivors are killed on screen.
Under. I think we're gonna be close to that.
Really?
Under 5
You think?
killed,
Okay, people are killed on screen. Okay.
and not just
over.
like killed by the entity and put in another trial. I count as killed. Like sacrificed is still a kill.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Sacrificed. Mm-hmm. Over or under 2 Moris are shown on screen.
Under 2 Moris. I think those
Under
ones are
2
going to be
Moris?
saved for like a
Yeah.
good killer.
Mm-hmm. If we see any Moris, I expect them in like a montage, like a very quick, like getting vomited on, or your head exploding or whatever. Over or under 1 hex is cleansed on screen.
If we saw hexes or boons, I'd be surprised. I think it's under 1. I think it's under 1 hex gets cleansed.
Okay.
Cleansed.
Over or under 1 totem is booned.
Oh, under again for the boons.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
less
expect
likely.
any boons in game. Okay, over or under 1 Dead by Daylight is uttered out loud on screen.
I think it's over. I think we get 2. I think we get 2 Dead by Daylight.
Wow, you think we get 2? What if we get the Survive by Dawn?
I'm thinking we're gonna get the don't go alone. It's a lot safer to survive with friends.
Very true, very true.
What are you trying to do? Kill your friends?
And then finally, over or under 2 pairs of bare feet appear on screen.
Hopefully under. What? I'm not a freak. What? Under.
Okay. Yeah, but we know DVD are full of freaks, so
yeah. Who would? Who?
Yeah, right. We all know.
We all know.
Well, that's all I have for over and under. Just a fun little exercise I wanted to do.
I like that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Any closing thoughts before we kind of close out about the DVD movie that you'd like to share?
The fact that this movie might actually happen is surprising. I'm still kind of
Oh
grappling
yeah,
with that.
yeah, same.
But like it's coming.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully it is. Hopefully we're not. We don't lose these writers 2 months from now, and it just is dead in the water then. So, but yeah, hopefully they write something good. I'm excited to see it, and we get a director attached soon. When do you expect to see this movie? When do you think we'll get it?
Oh god, it's hard to put a timeline on this stuff because I feel like they'll squeeze it out as soon as they can. So like 2029,
Mm-hmm.
maybe.
Yeah,
Give it like
2029.
3 years.
3 years. Yeah, because it was announced 3 years ago. They're now just getting writers on it. Yeah, I like that odd. I like those odds. 2028, 2029 is what I'm kind of expecting.
Heard. Okay.
Yeah, that's good to know. Okay, well, that's all we have for you this week, folks. Be sure to join the Discord to engage with us and the rest of the community. We actually plan to have another community night very soon. I'm wanting to plan that in the coming weeks or maybe months or next month. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. Drop us a review on the platform of your choice. Any bit of support in those areas means a lot to us, and it helps us reach more people. So thank you very much for your support. Thank you, Stevie, for joining me tonight. That was a wonderful conversation we had. I'm excited for next week as well. Thank you, listeners and viewers, and we'll see you in the fog next week.
Yeah, goodbye everyone. Thanks, Bryson.